Greetings and salutations everyone, my name is MiAh the King, and today we're taking a look at a brand new game on Early Access out on Steam right now. It was released earlier today. I'm ahead of the game this time, trying to get my video out on the same day as the game coming out, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, I did my best to get this video out, and at the best quality, as quick as possible. Like, I'm trying my best here, okay? I'm trying my best to help some of you people out there come to a decision on whether or not you're going to try it. Now, most of you out there probably see this as a new survival game set on an alien planet, and while you may be right, this game feels a bit off. But before we go too far into that, we're going to follow our normal procedure and go through the pros and cons of this game before I give my overall general opinion and recommendation. But before even that, I'd like to humbly request you guys out there clicking on this video to please hit the like button and the subscribe button and show me some support. The more support I get, the more motivated I am to do more videos like this and the more content I can bring you. Don't want to spend the money but still want to know if the game is any good? Well, the more views and subscribers I get, the more videos I'm going to put out, and that also means that I could end up doing a video every day on a new game that just came out, and who knows, it might just be the game you've been waiting for, but aren't sure if it's quite worth its asking price. You can turn to me and I'll give you my brutally honest opinion. Thanks a bunch. Now then, first off we're going to start with the pros, because I got more of those. See how I did that? First off is the graphics. While they may not have been the best I've ever seen in a video game, or even the best in a survival game, they're interesting to say the least, and, you know, passable. They aren't too fancy that you need a mega computer, but they aren't too poor that you'll find it lacking. So overall, I'd say its graphics are fairly average for a game like this, but, you know, still good enough to go into the pros. Secondly, the game gives you a nice tutorial rather than just plopping you down in the middle of somewhere with a bunch of text to read that just tells you what to do. You know, unable to really figure out what you're doing. You know, like a lot of those early access games. I mean, it's come to the point where most games don't even give a tutorial now, so I gotta, you know, when they do add it, I have to give it in the pros section. Sad, ain't it? Thirdly, the combat. It's actually pretty intense. Some aliens are easy to kill, some are pretty difficult. There's dodging and rolling in this game, though I never figured out how, and the tutorial didn't teach me that. But I did learn to block, so there's that. But I can see that down the road this could end up becoming a much more fun mechanic, especially when there are lots of players nearby to really spicing things up, whether they're against you or helping you. Fourth, there's a really interesting mechanic in here. If you die enough times, you'll turn into a void, or the void, however it is. It's a failure mechanic, where if you die enough times, you become some kind of void monster. I did not get to experience this, but I really wanted to. Anyway, once you become this void monster, your only real job is to grief other players by attacking them and, you know, destroying their shit. So that's probably something that a lot of players are going to enjoy about this, and even if that's not your thing, it's still a fun mechanic where even if, you know, there's this one player that's really pissing you off and just keeps killing you and over again and taking your shit, you'll be able to get your own kind of revenge. Plus the fact that it has a mechanic like this is really cool and actually pretty innovative for an MMO survival game. Needless to say, I like it a lot. Fifth, there is a PvP mechanic at launch, which allows all the players to jump in, learn the game, explore, and just have a bit of fun familiarizing yourself with this game without being griefed by other players. Unless they are voids, you know. But it's still a great mechanic for those new people just trying to find a new game to enjoy. It does make me a little worried for the future, however, as I'm sure that, you know, this isn't a permanent thing. But, on the other hand, it does offer different modes to play in, so even when this PvE event is up, there's going to be a PvE server to play on, so you can still learn the game before getting into the PvP ones. And sixth, the tech trees and the armor. The armor and weapons are really interestingly designed, and the tech tree is very straightforward and easy to understand. Also, not all of your stuff is locked off in the beginning, so you can easily learn a bunch of stuff, go explore, gather a little bit, then learn more stuff, and just keep going over and over again as you learn things and craft new things and get stronger over time. I'm sure it'll slow down the longer you play, but for my length of time it was really nice. And the seventh and last positive, the game is kind of a mixture between RPG, MMO, and survival. It has quests, a hub, inventory, skill tree, crafting, survival mechanics like hunger and thirst, different gear, etc, etc. I mean, if it's an RPG, it's probably here. If it's in a MMO, it's probably here. If it's in a survival, it's probably here. But now we gotta go into the negatives, and the first is that it's kind of a mixture between RPG, MMO, and survival. This is both a good and a bad, which is why I put it in both lists. It's an RPG, but done poorly. It's a survival, but done poorly. It's an MMO, but kind of done poorly. Now, allow me to explain why I feel that way. As an RPG, its dialogue, quests, and skill trees are all kind of basic for that genre. It's a skill tree where, simple and easy, but it's too simple and easy for an RPG. Its quests are ridiculously programmed. I mean, the first quest has you walking 200 to 600 meters away from the hub to these small areas where you need to gather materials. The whole time talking about beware the night, but I never saw any day or night, mechanic here. And when you're gathering these materials for this quest, only one or two pop up in each of these small areas, and they respawn very slowly. Now, why is this a problem? Because other players can come in and take the sample, leaving you empty-handed. It doesn't respond fast enough or separate the loot per player, so it's kind of like how World of Warcraft was back in the very beginning, where you're standing in a cave for 10 minutes waiting for the quest item to respond, only for that douche to run in and grab it and make you wait another 10 minutes. This is a problem. Not only that, I found myself running in this game more than doing anything else, which is why a lot of people have called this game a running simulator. And then its survival mechanics aren't the best. They're pretty much just very simple. Find this item and craft. You need this one item to craft 6 different things. You need a root spear, root stick, and you need that to craft everything. So where's the variety here? I think I discovered 3 different types of plants, 1 rock, and 2 different types of animals throughout my, whole first hour of exploration and whatnot. I mean, that's not very, it's not a lot of variety there. So its survival mechanics are just, done in what feels like the laziest way possible. Plus, you're given a whole bunch of stuff in the beginning to make exploring and gathering kind of pointless. You have a bunch of these boxes in your inventory that just give you stuff. And all you can really craft in the game is weapons, armors, and tools. Basically just stuff that you can wear or use. There's no crafting of buildings or anything like that. Now, I'm not sure if that's later in the game or not, but it wasn't anywhere nearby where I was in this game. The next negative on my list is the stability of the game. This was a big problem for me. Now, yes, I'm very aware that it's early access, but that stopped being an excuse when I found several games released in early access that ran smoothly and didn't crash on me. I've got a whole plethora of games like that on my channel. Feel free to take a look. If those people can do it, then these people can do it. Now, this game crashed on me, stuttered on me several times, froze on me several times, glitched me out several times. This game is pretty much very broken at this point. It's just barely playable. I mean, if you didn't experience any of these, I'd like to have your copy, because mine did not do that at all. And if you've got a short fuse or short amounts of patience, this game in its current state is going to drive you insane. Even the sound, this is weird, even the sound cuts out every 3rd swing of my weapon combo. It's for a brief second, but it just completely cuts off. I mean, wow. What the fuck? I've never seen that before, in anything, ever. Thirdly on my negative list is, well, the sound. While the music was pretty nice and the voice acting for the cutscene in the beginning was pretty good, the sound effects in the actual game is just, kind of annoying and basic. I mean, you're running down a river, you hear a monster growl, and you look around and it's nowhere. Travel a bit farther and then you find it hidden behind a rock. I mean, why could I hear it all the way back there? Plus the remaining sounds, such as walking, fighting, or crafting, is all just pretty basic. I mean, basically there's nothing special here. The sound effects for your everyday gameplay are just very basic. Fourth, the game is pretty barren right now. Once again, I'm not going to let early access be an excuse. Everything's pretty basic. Now, I am hoping that this will change over time, but I have seen plenty of games where this doesn't change, and the game doesn't really get much better until you've put in like 40 plus hours. To me, those kind of games are just never worth it. I mean, in Rust, within the first hour, you can have yourself a pretty big, well-defended area. You know what I mean? But, I may be wrong, and it may change, or at least I hope it does, which, if it does, yay. And the last one that I got here, this one doesn't really pertain to me personally, but to a lot of backers behind this game when it was released on Steam. I've seen several negative comments and reviews from other backers or other players who have been supporting this game since before it was on Steam, talking about how this game isn't what they were, previously backing. With faction systems being withdrawn, different colonies and guilds for different players, with a whole ecosystem and, just stuff like that. Basically, a lot of info on this game was either changed or withdrawn or withheld, as well as some of its other promises. Now, this might just be something that they are doing for its release to help out new players, which is nice, but kind of unfair to the backers who've been supporting this game behind the scenes for a while now. Now, I don't have a lot of information on this. I don't have a lot of, definitive answers on this. So, I can't give you specifics or anything. But maybe some of those backers out there could leave me a comment to inform me. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if this is temporary. Let me know something so I can be more aware. And it would also let the viewers out there who check out my video have a little bit more info about what's happening here. And, maybe it's nothing. But it could be something as well. Alright, so that's all I've got for the pros and cons. I guess now we'll go on to my final thoughts in case I lost some of you there in between. Overall, I actually really like this game, but just not in its current state. I refuse to buy a game that crashes on me in early access within the first hour. I refuse to buy a game that offers me nothing in terms of replayability, content, and quality. This game lacks in replayability because it does have its survival system, and once you die enough, you lose everything and become a void, forcing you to start all over again but unable to get any of your hard work back, while Dickie McGee over there grows more and more powerful to come and fuck up your day all over again. I mean, you start over from scratch with nothing, and Dickie McGee just got more powerful to kill you again, and it just the strong stay strong and the weak stay weak, basically. I don't like that. There's no fairness there. There's no ability for a player who's had his whole 10 hours of hard work crushed to come back and make a comeback. It doesn't happen here. In terms of quality, the game stutters, freezes, it glitches and crashes. Its graphics aren't amazing. Its sound is even less than amazing. None of its specific mechanics per genre are amazing. And by that I mean its survival genre, its RPG genre, and its MMO genre. And then in terms of content, as of launch, it doesn't really have a lot of content. It shows you two types of monsters. One massive biome that looks like the same no matter how far you run. I mean, I ran 600 meters in one direction and the terrain barely changed. And its hub was barren and empty. Only a few players were around, only a few NPCs were around, only a few things to do were around. For an MMO game. So, for you backers out there, or for, you supporters out there, I mean, I feel you. I understand why you like this game. Hell, I even said earlier that I like this game. But I'm not ready for it, and it's not ready for me. Just on principle alone, I refuse to keep a game that crashes on me when I die, especially within the first hour. After all the work I did. I mean, imagine if this had been PvP. I would have died, crashed, and someone would have looted my body before I could even get back into the game. No thanks. But the general idea of this game is good. Having all three of those genres all mixed into one is a good idea. It just needs to be done better. It's like the game Dark and Light. You remember when I did a video on that forever ago? It had building, crafting levels, dungeons, a hub, PvE, PvP, a monetary system, which this game doesn't have, with a third-person view of the character. But both of these games have serious connection issues and game-breaking bugs. Dark and Light died a long time ago, unfortunately, and I feel that if these guys don't get these issues fixed soon, this is going to die too. I really wanted this game to be good. I loved what it was pitching. But as of right now, it's too broken to be played long term. It's too barren to immerse yourself, and it's too plain to be that interesting. Now, if you're still interested in this, then I recommend you wait a couple of months and stay tuned in for its updates. Make sure, to hope, and hope that some of these issues are fixed, basically. I'd much rather you guys wait and make sure the devs stick around rather than waste your money on incompetent developers who release the game and then move on. I mean, you guys who, watch stuff like this on YouTube or who pay attention to Steam, you know that a lot of early access games just get abandoned. Now, I hope this isn't one of them. I hope the backers and people who support this game get what they paid for and get some good stuff. But I'm not one of those people. I judge it based on what I experienced, and what I experienced is it's just not good enough. That's just me. I personally feel like this game isn't worth it, plain and simple. And, who knows? If in 6 months it's still popular and it has all these issues fixed, I'm definitely returning and I'm going to rebuy this game and I'm going to sink tons of hours into it. But I've been burned by games too many times and I've been around for too long to trust this kind of stuff. As of right now, this game gets the refund. Fix your glitches, game devs. Add more content, game devs. And don't abandon this game, game devs. I've been searching for a survival game for a while to really sink some time into, but I just can't consciously promote this game in its current state. I don't have to give this game a rating because this isn't a deep dive review, but if I had to give it a rating based on my first hour of gameplay, I'd have to go with a 4, I guess. It's slightly below average based on everything it has. I don't know, maybe I could give it a 5, average, because it is still technically in early access and there's still a lot there. I mean, I think if they could get rid of, those game-breaking bugs and glitches, it'd move up to a 6, slightly above average based on everything they're trying to give you. My recommendation? Wait a few months, then check on it and see how it's doing. And if it hasn't made any serious progress, move on to the next thing. Alright, everybody? Thank you so much to those of you who stopped by and watched the whole video through to the end. Each view, each subscriber, each like, and each comment make me incredibly happy and motivated to keep going. I appreciate all of you out there still supporting me. I hope I managed to help some of you out there come to a decision. For the rest of you, I hope I was at least semi-entertaining. So thank you all so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you farewell.